Good evening, my fellow Chicagoans, and welcome for a Friday night edition of Chicago Corner. Thanks for joining us here on the corner tonight. It's been quite a week, as we've all been witnessing in national news. These ghastly developments on the other side of the globe kind of make things happening here in Chicago seem pretty insignificant. So we're gonna talk a little bit about what's happening on the other side of the world, along with what's happening here in Chicago in response to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And before we get to that first story, I want to welcome my guest hosts, Mr. Kit Cabello and Mr. Edward Heller. Welcome, gentlemen.
It's good to be here back on Chicago Corner. As always, one of Chicago's fastest growing independent media network that's doing a lot of great stuff. So as always, happy to be a co-host. And I think it feels good not to be in the captain's seat right now. So Jerry, you can lead the way.
We started a little bit late tonight on my end because I had some tech difficulties here. You know, I constantly have this issue. I've got a wireless keyboard that is not even 5 months old, and it keeps losing its Bluetooth connection. So as I'm trying to create thumbnails to promote the show before we go live, and I'm trying to type in text, the keyboard goes dead and there's no connector. So it's like I'm stopping and starting. That's why I postponed our start time, because I needed to get stuff done and up and cleaned up in time so I could look as dapper as I try to while we're live streaming. So yeah, sorry about the delay tonight, just kind of dealing with technical difficulties. I hope to have this shit worked out by next Tuesday. I got some new equipment here that I'm going to plug in and see if it resolves these things by next Tuesday's show. But Ed, welcome. Good to have you back.
Glad to be back. Is the asteroid here yet?
Not yet. I don't know if that would make things better or worse, given what's happening on the other side of the world right now. But let me bring up our first story, because this is I didn't see it coming. No, I mean, I didn't expect it to go this far. And I also want to thank our president, one foot in the grave, Joe Biden, for not publicly saying, look, we'll forget about the NATO thing. Because had Biden publicly stated we're not going to press the issue of Ukraine entering NATO, and Putin still decided to do this, it would have proven that this is all about imperialism from Russia, not about NATO, because that's pretty much what Putin has been leaning on. He's been leaning on the fact that, you know, to them, Ukraine is like Cuba is to us. It's something not even in their backyard, at their front doorstep. That, along with the gas pipeline, the United States not wanting European countries to cozy up too much to Russia so we can retain our dominance. I mean, it's just such a fucking clusterfuck. But locally, solidarity in Chicago with our Ukrainian friends on the other side of the world. This comes to us from Block Club Chicago and Quinn Myers. I also figured with these developments happening, you know, we could spend some time talking about this global event amongst ourselves, as well as get some input from our guests in the live chat, our viewers in the live chat. So currently, I believe this happened yesterday. Was it yesterday or today? Yeah, it was yesterday. Hundreds rallying Ukrainian village to condemn Russian invasion. We need to have peace in Ukraine. Russia is very strong. Putin is crazy now. He's going crazy. He will not stop. He will go on to Europe. One rally attendee said, if USA doesn't help, I think it will be so bad. That's a very, very scary prospect of us putting boots on the ground or fucking things up even more, given how I think the diplomacy, the failed diplomacy ended up bringing us here. Hundreds of people rallied in Ukrainian village Thursday to support Ukraine's sovereignty and call for a more robust response from Western governments against the ongoing Russian invasion. Holding Ukrainian flags and signs that said "Stop Putin" and "Stop War," protesters chanted "USA supports Ukraine" and sang songs in Ukrainian. Priests from St. Volodymyr and Olha and St. Nicholas Ukrainian Catholic churches, two longtime community anchors in the neighborhood, led the crowd in prayer and song. Russian forces began invading Ukraine early Thursday, according to news reports. Russian troops were closing in on Kiev, the Ukrainian capital, by Thursday evening, according to the New York Times. Chicago has one of the highest populations of Ukrainians in the U.S., with 100,000 living in the city and suburbs, and around 10,000 in Ukrainian Village, according to NPR. Organizers of Thursday's rally pressed for tougher sanctions on Russia and encouraged people to contribute to humanitarian efforts for Ukrainian citizens. Unleash the sanctions. Stop the war. Stop Russia's economy today. There must be action by the United Nations. They must stop the Russian aggression. Remove Russia from the Security Council of United Nations, said Pavlo Bondrusky, vice president of the Ukrainian Congress Committee of American Illinois Division. We need to have peace in Ukraine. It can only happen with the support from the West and from the United States of America. Speaking at the rally, U.S. Representative Mike Quigley described the Russian invasion as not just a Ukrainian problem, but a threat to democracy around the world. The reason I'm bringing, right, here we go, World War III, right after the pandemic.
I'm talking about the propaganda.
Well, I want to get into the propaganda also, because I used to respect RT, okay? The propaganda coming out of RT suggesting that Russian citizens are all excited about this is bullshit. I've been watching stuff on Reddit. There are protests all over Russia, which is brave when you consider they're on their own soil protesting this maniac Putin. A lot of public demonstrations in Russia.
I'm not talking about like the Russian citizens.
Oh, I know.
Generally against war. I'm talking about how it seems like we're going from like a Go America perspective, while we're making this very binary with like USA and NATO good and Russia bad, and that's just not how this situation is.
No, that's been the narrative for decades.
I mean, like we know that back in 2014. There was some regime changing going on over in the Ukraine, and so it's a little more complicated than just that Vladdy P decided he wants to roll in right now, and and then people making it sound like he's doing it for no reason other than he wants to get the band back together.
Well, did you know? I heard that he also, now this is where the chickens come home to roost, Ed. I think in one of his statements, he said, he was worried about WMDs in Ukraine. Where do you think he got? Where do you think he got that idea to throw back in our and the rest of the world's faces for what we pulled in Iraq?
Yep, and that was hold on, wait.
Go ahead,
and the thing is, this is something that a lot of people who were silenced by the media, who were called conspiracy theorists or being anti-patriotic for saying there might not be WMDs in Iraq, and we are setting a precedent for other countries to do the same thing too. This goes right back to George W. Bush Jr., good old Jr., screwing it up and opening the door for this crisis. Look, here's the thing. You have these politicians in Russia, in Ukraine, in the United States, a part of the NATO alliance that have been instigating this conflict. And right now, this entire thing is going to boil over. The sad fact is the people who are going to suffer are the young people who will be fighting in the war, the civilians that will be impacted by this. And if this thing gets out of hand any further, if there's going to be one jagoff there that's going to find a shiny red button and push it, it's going to be mushroom clouds in the sky. And I want to remind everyone, there is a very good chance all this technology, everything that we've achieved in the aftermath of that said war, if it gets bad, we're not coming back to this point again. It's going to be a long time if we can ever get back there. Because think about the amount of resources it took to get to this point of civilization, and it could go away like that. Because you got these politicians who want to make money, who want to expand empire, who have dreams of ambition, of power, of conquest, however which way you want to call it. All of us are going to be dragged down into this fire pit, and we're not going to recover again. This whole idea of somehow rebuilding or things will be fine. Everyone needs to go back to their tables, sit down, and talk this out diplomatically. It's got to stop now, because if this isn't stopped, I dread to think what will happen next, because they got nukes, we got nukes, and then someone's going to have an itchy trigger finger, and then that's it. And nothing we say will matter.
And that's what the American people need to press Joe to get diplomacy back on the table, because he's taken it off the table, and he's letting all his yes men talking him into thinking that, well, we're not going to go and do diplomacy at under while Putin is attacking and dropping bombs and stuff. I'm like, no, dude, pick up the phone.
Wait. One other thing here
Call
too.
the guy.
I want to acknowledge what Cassie Powers is saying in the chat. Notice how we aren't paying attention to the problems at home. There's inflation. People are being evicted from their homes. We got student debt. This whole war is also another distraction. Mind you, by the way, Israel just bombed Syria, and we just also bombed Somalia too.
Yeah.
I wonder if Syria and Somalia is going to get any of that kind of attention too, what's happening in Ukraine. It seems like everyone's got a trigger finger to go for war. That's all we're good at now, war? That's everything that we've accomplished. That's how we go out, the human race. Shooting each other and vaporizing each other off the planet. Looking at the myriad of species that have come before us, and it will probably come after us, I'll say this. At least the dinosaurs went out with more honor than we did. Because the thing is, I've never seen a sad display of a species kill each other in the name of profit, ambition, and power. We've got to be better than this. Someone in the live stream chat on Hardlands Media said yesterday, all wars are really civil wars because we as humans, we are brothers and sisters. This has got to come to an end.
The escalation of Putin to leadership in the Russian Federation is it, and his dreams of restoring what Russia used to be is a lot of what's at the heart of this. It's the old guard continuing the old ways. I don't know if you guys had a chance to, as you're talking about war and everything, and to support everything you just said, Kit. I don't know if you guys have had a chance today to witness or watch some of the videos coming out of Ukraine. Watching Ukrainian citizens fighting the Russian soldiers. First of all, a lot of the Russian soldiers are surrendering. They are discarding their uniforms and disappearing because they don't want to be there. And to see these Ukrainian citizens defending their country with this monolith of Russia coming in, it's like the rebels against the empire. On one hand, it's inspirational. On the other hand, it's terrifying when you know the might behind Russia, despite the fact a lot of their soldiers don't want to be there and don't have their heart in it. I watched this one video. I guess that there's this one Ukrainian pilot who's been taking out Russian planes.
There's been a call in regards to some of these stories about Russian soldiers dropping their uniforms or this pilot. Some of these things have been called into question whether or not they are real or not. Or
propaganda, yeah. Okay. Because the stuff that I saw on Reddit, it seemed like it was coming out of Ukraine around abandoned Russian vehicles.
I'm not saying that they're not real, but I think because I saw the same things too. And let's face it, in this day and age of the internet and social media, I think it's very fair for us to take a step back. How much of this is true?
I guess you're right. I mean, it is hard. I mean, I guess there's what we want to believe, and it's hard to be able to disseminate what's real from the fake news.
Yeah.
Well, I know that the president, a lot of the local leaders there in Ukraine are leading their citizens to try to put off the Russians, and we just have to kind of sit back and see what's going to happen if diplomats from here as well as Western Europe are not able to calm things down. Going back to the local coverage, though, which kind of propelled us into that direction with Representative Mike Quigley describing the Russian invasion as not just a Ukrainian problem, but a threat to democracy around the world, which is where Ed, oh boy, here we go, use it as propaganda to escalate things even more. He said, the reason I'm bringing all this up is not to diminish the horrors that our Ukrainian friends are experiencing, but to wake Americans up that they must play a role. I wonder if Quigley's going to go put on a uniform and go over there. They must understand the sacrifices that will be involved and that we need to give Ukraine all of the military assets they need for ultimate victory, he said.
Yeah, shut up, Quigley.
Mr. Warmonger. You know what? Lead the way, Quigley. You and the rest of Congress, you get on a plane and you go over there and don't sacrifice our young people for this madness. Many Ukrainian Americans who gathered Thursday described feelings of shock, confusion, anger, and fear, especially for those who have family members living in Ukraine. We all thought there was going to be a war. People in Ukraine, I don't think thought that. But when we heard it last night, we were just calling one another. We couldn't believe it. I mean, really, it was awful, said Lydia Tsutsuk, president of the Ukrainian National Museum on West Superior Street. Ukrainian Village residents and DePaul students Stephen Marchuk and Daniel Zablotsky both have family in Ukraine. They said they missed class today to attend the rally. You can learn You can always learn things you missed in class, but I mean, moments like this, standing in solidarity together, it's the minimum that we could do, Marshuk said. Zablotsky's mother, sister, and brother are currently living in Ukraine, and he said his father is hoping to travel to the country to fight against the Russians. My dad this morning, he was like, I'm going back. I'm like, you have no way of getting there. He said, my mom's in Ukraine right now. She called me and was like, hide your dad's passport. I know my dad. He would. Marshuk said so far he doesn't feel like the Russian invasion is being recognized with enough urgency by the United States government or its residents. Okay, there's your slippery slope into, I feel like a lot of information they're getting, they're just kind of brushing it off, and I feel like there needs to be more education and more information presented towards the American public of what is actually going on, he said.
Yeah, you're going to have a hard time getting the entire truth from the cable news and establishment media, because they're definitely biased toward U.S. propaganda and the military-industrial complex. So you have to take what they say with a grain of salt and also think about where the money is going with a lot of the things that they're saying.
I also want to say, anyone that's being gung-ho about this conflict, yeah, you could have your tanks, your planes, your helicopters, your infantry doing, tactical maneuvers and, every single way that encompasses war. But it's going to end up with mushroom clouds in the sky. That's where this is going to go if this keeps on escalating. There's no assurances that one side won't use nukes and the other won't use nukes. I don't want to hear that BS. Everyone that's saying that we need to get further involvement means, okay, well, sooner or later it's going to escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate to the point where there will be no need for tanks or planes or soldiers or any of that stuff. It's going to be, again, these weapons of mass destruction. Russia has them. We have them. Everyone needs to calm the hell down.
A lot of great comments in the live chat. And speaking of that maniac Putin, Nadia Ilkiv, who has family in West Ukraine, drove to the rally from her home in suburban Palatine. She said she'd been crying all night since she heard the invasion had begun. She fears the war is just the beginning of a much larger conflict. Russia is very strong. Putin is crazy now. He's going crazy. He will not stop. He will go on to Europe, she said. If USA doesn't help, I think it will be so bad. American people must understand. And let's talk about this point too, because this has been bandied around a lot also, and there's a lot to take apart here. Putin is like Hitler. This is not small war in Ukraine. He starts from Ukraine, he goes everywhere. If the United States doesn't stop Putin or he doesn't die, it will be a big war, she said. We see the appeasement parallels with Ukraine and Putin, but what do you guys think his aspirations go beyond Ukraine, maybe into Poland or elsewhere?
No, we're getting deeper into the propaganda here. I mean, obviously, these people are surrounded by other people with like-minded things, and they're getting their information from probably similar sources. I mean, I can tell you that the saber rattling isn't just going on with the State Department, but the media is probably not giving you the entire picture either. The sources that I've been reading have told me that about 4 hours ago, Zelensky was trying to negotiate a ceasefire with Putin. So, I mean, we really don't know what the actual situation is there other than the reports that come filtering in from all the different locations. Fortunately, we have more than just the mainstream sources to look into for this kind of stuff. But like you've seen, sometimes they come in and you don't know if you can trust the source.
But to play devil's advocate here, did you guys think he was going to breach and invade?
Yeah,
you did think he was.
Because I didn't see there's going to be some involvement here or there. I mean, let's face it. Look what happened in Crimea, for example.
Okay, so I guess maybe because I'm coming from the side of I didn't think that he would escalate this to an invasion, and
I think Biden helped escalate it even further. Like it's two sides. It's Russia and the United States. Both leaders instigated the other. There is no good guy here.
Yeah.
No. I'm not. Look, no, I know both sides are to blame, Kit. But as far as him deciding to play chicken with the U.S. or NATO, the entire world, and take that step forward into invading, I don't know that I saw him taking that step. Which is why I wonder when people are worried about him going beyond Ukraine. if he hasn't gone a little crazy and might be that stupid as well. You guys there?
Sorry, I was
No.
handling the troll in the chat there.
Yeah.
Someone's trolling the chat?
Yeah. There was a troll in the chat right there.
Okay, I didn't see. I was going to go to True Democracy Now. Our own presidents have made independent personal decisions to make war on others since World War II, invading more countries than Hitler did, and without the approval of or consent of our citizens. Yeah, there's no denying that at all. Let me see. Oh, that's nice. Where in the hell did these people come from, these trolls? I'm going to block him. Let's see if that lasts.
I took care of it.
Says we've got some crazy people in there. Yeah. Nice. Well, sorry. Let me get rid of it. Blocked him again. Ed, are you able to block from your end?
Yeah, I got.
You did it already. Here. Okay, I'm sorry. I did it. Okay.
Yeah, I've got the YouTube window open too.
All right. So Edward, take care of that.
Yeah, he did. I didn't realize he was able, because I'm looking at. I'm a little bit late on the live chat. So here's a good point. When you hear about these soldiers that are surrendering, Art says, if I was in Putin's inner circle, I'd attempt a coup, but Putin is too powerful. Hey, man, if I was a Russian soldier and I didn't want to be in Ukraine, I'd turn my plane around and go send a missile into the Kremlin. But what do I know?
And the media spent weeks saying, "Oh, invasion's imminent," and then crickets, and then like every day it's like, "Oh, it's gonna happen." And then the next day, it's gonna happen, and then nothing happens. And then it's like, and then we finally hear like from Putin, and he tells us this story how Donbass was asked for his help to get rid of the Azov battalion because they are neo-Nazis, and that's not hyperbole. They really are.
They are.
And that's kind of what he did. And you could go deeper down the rabbit hole and wonder, the locations that he bombed, were they of any kind of strategic significance? You could Google bio labs if you wanted to, but I'm just guessing.
It doesn't help that if I understood things correctly, we kind of installed the current leadership in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that would be like Russia deciding to install who they wanted in Cuba. Or Florida. It's just bad decision. Yeah, you're right. More on the mainland. There's no ocean separating Ukraine from Russia. All right.
Can I also add something else here too? I've been noticing again on social media how a lot of people have been posting memes and making it funny or it's a form of entertainment. And the thing is, okay, I can laugh at a few jokes here and there, but if this conflict keeps on getting worse, if it escalates to the point of no return, there's nothing to laugh about.
No. This is some serious shit. I remember, look, man, we grew up in the Cold War hearing about nuclear war all the time. When the Berlin Wall went down, finally it seemed that there was going to be some sanity. And, there was for a little while until suddenly things just started going back in reversal to the same old ways.
Yeah. Agreed.
Let me finish up before we move on to other stories. Jefferson Park resident Serge Malachuk, whose brothers and extended family live in Ukraine, said he's been organizing online fundraisers for the Ukrainian army in recent months. He's also traveled to Washington, D.C. to lobby Congress to intervene in the conflict. Malachuk said he's also a firearms expert and is considering traveling to Ukraine to train people there to defend themselves. He said he has friends fighting against the Russians right now. There's soldiers there. I haven't been able to speak with them, but yeah, they're fighting right now. They're resisting, and it looks like it's going to be a long guerrilla warfare. That's what it kind of looks like right now. The war, Malachuk said, is going to have repercussions globally, and Ukraine is on the front line right now. So Ukrainians are sacrificing their lives, and soldiers there are brave and courageous, and they are willing to die for their country. Another rally is planned for 1 p.m. Sunday outside Saints Volodymyr and Oha Ukrainian Catholic Church at 739 North Oakley Boulevard. And sharing some photographs from the protest the other day, or the rally. It's pretty large turnout. That is, I believe that's Sergei Michaluk, who we were just quoting. Lot to worry about here. Anyway, all right, let's move on to our next story. In local news, what do we say, guys? Same shit, different day.
Oh no.
So do you know the police department has failed to implement a foot chase policy despite what happened last year with Toledo and Alvarez, which has now led to a lawsuit, which will end up costing the city probably another more millions of dollars because of the police department's inability to implement a policy that is long overdue. All right, so this comes to us from Alex V. Hernandez at Block Club Chicago. And police department's failure to implement foot chase policy led to cop killing Anthony Alvarez. And I think a lot of people sadly probably saw that video. The family claims in a lawsuit. In 2017, the Justice Department called on the police department. 2017, the Justice Department called on the police department to overhaul its chase policy when a suspect poses no immediate threat. The department missed multiple deadlines to make changes. Anthony Alvarez's family is suing the city and 2 Chicago police officers, saying police never should have started a dangerous foot chase that led to an officer fatally shooting the 22-year-old Portage Park man last year. And might I also add, while he was fleeing from behind in the back. Giselle Higuera, mother of Alvarez's now 3-year-old daughter, filed the federal lawsuit Wednesday, naming the city and officers Evan Solano and Sammy Encarnacion as defendants. Solano was the officer who shot and killed Alvarez March 31st of 2021, just blocks from Alvarez's home, after police said Alvarez pulled out a handgun, which led to a confrontation. Alvarez's family has repeatedly called for Solano to be fired and charged with murder. Tim Grace, an attorney for Solano, said his client should not be fired and was following his training when he shot Alvarez. We appreciate and sympathize with the family's feelings about the death of Alvarez, Grace said last week. However, unfortunately, Mr. Alvarez had a gun, which it wasn't oriented at Chicago police officers. We've seen the video, which was oriented at Chicago police officer Evan Solano and placed him in fear of death or great bodily harm.
Oh, so now this revision is history?
Of course. Despite the fact that there's tape. He had no cover and no concealment. He followed his training. He had plenty of cover and concealment had he not engaged in the foot chase. Alvarez had a gun, but he was not shown raising it or pointing it at anyone in videos that captured the incident. The lawsuit points to a 2017 Justice Department report, which found that the CPD's pattern and practice of unreasonable force, included shooting at fleeing suspects who presented no immediate threat. We also see this in police car chases, which end up like mowing down people on sidewalks. The failure to change the chase policy despite a federal mandate contributed in part to Solano killing Alvarez, the suit states. This family deserves justice. We can't wait any longer for the city to step up and do the right thing, said Alvarez family attorney Christopher Smith. There's Anthony Alvarez with his daughter. Police spokesman Kelly Bartoli and Law Department spokesman Kristen Cabanan declined to comment, citing the pending litigation. The lawsuit is linked at the Block Club Chicago page. Solano fatally shot Alvarez 2 days after another police officer fatally shot 13-year-old Adam Toledo in Little Village, which also started as a foot chase. It was a big week for foot chases and people being shot during pursuits. Videos of the shooting shows officers, including Solano, approached Alvarez as he was walking near a gas station, then chased him down an alley when he ran away. Solano fired at least 5 shots at Alvarez as he ran from them in front of a row of homes in the 5200th block of West Eddy Street. Do you know how often we hear about stray bullets going through windows and killing people? Here's a cop firing at least 5 shots at Alvarez in front of a row of homes that are also bordered across the street with other homes. Mm-hmm. In the 5200th block of West Eddy Street. Adrenaline rush? Alvarez had a gun, but the videos did not show him raising it or pointing it at anyone leading up to the shooting. 2 of Solano's 5 shots hit Alvarez. Cook County Medical Examiner records show Alvarez was shot in his back, under his right shoulder blade, and in his left thigh. Details about why police were chasing Alvarez in the first place remain murky. Police officials and the Civilian Office of Police Accountability have refused to answer that question. Police records made public by COPA added no insight. The day the videos were released, of course, Mary Lori Lightfoot said Alvarez was shot after a traffic stop, but surveillance video shows Alvarez was walking when the police approached him. Police did not witness Alvarez breaking any laws before the chase, and he was not wanted for any violent or felony offenses, according to the lawsuit. Startled and fearful of the officer's intentions, Anthony ran, approaching Anthony as defendants did by driving their car at him and initiating a dangerous foot chase without adequate cause constituted excessive force, the lawsuit said. Months after Toledo and Alvarez were killed, the police department missed a September 3rd, 2021 deadline for what? Adopting a new foot chase policy as part of the consent decree process. We've been waiting for this policy about foot chases for years, Smith said. This isn't rocket science. Just put it down on paper and give the guidance to the officers so they stop getting into these extremely dangerous situations when nothing really is at stake. End of the article.
More of the same stuff happening every single day. Lack of accountability from the CPD, lack of accountability from the city government, lack of accountability from anyone in a position of authority. It's no wonder why so many Americans are no longer trusting their elected officials. They're being lied to every single goddamn day.
Yeah.
Edward.
Got a few things in the live chat here.
Let me bring some stuff up. I haven't been. Okay,
I brought up Arturo earlier. Here's his next one.
Yeah, a cop must panic the moment they see a gun. If a gun is pulled on you, you can only imagine being shot. Cops think that too, and they shoot first. Their training can't always go as they were instructed. I know, but the thing is, Art, I don't know that they knew he had a gun. He didn't pull it on them. He wasn't shooting at the cops. What training, says Kathy. And where were the cops when some guy stole a backhoe and pulled out the Chase ATM on Morris? Yeah, that was interesting. Really, right? You can't see some guys pulling out a Chase ATM with a I don't know if it was a truck or a car, but I saw that in the news last week. I just laughed because I'm like, that's the kind of stuff that the police are nowhere around to pay attention to, while all this other stuff that we report on.
Hey, Jerry, would you happen to know how to open up the back of one of those ATMs?
I don't, Ed, but I've always thought,
just asking for a friend.
Well, I've always thought to myself, if you were going to steal an ATM, you'd probably want to go, and I'm just theorizing, if you were going to do it, you'd probably want to like drive between Illinois and Wisconsin and find one like on a side road where there's like in an old closed gas station or something, or somewhere that's in a really unpopulated area. That's where you would want to hook up a chain and grab an ATM and see if you can bust the back open to get rid of the GPS before you ran off with the money. But
okay,
apparently
so you're
in Chicago,
in on the next one then.
Pardon me?
So you're in on the next one?
I didn't say I'm in on the next one. I just wondered if someone was going to do it. Theoretically and hypothetically, if you were going to do it, that's how you would do it.
Okay.
Let's see some more comments in the live chat. True Democracy Now shares, remember that the Chicago Police Department and its leadership are under the supervision of the mayor and city council, who determine their policies and behaviors when engaging with our citizens. Egos and profit, a bad combination. In the video, Alvarez, I know, Art, I saw the video. It was heartbreaking. In the video, Alvarez, after he was shot, asked the cop, "Why did you shoot me?" And the cop said, "You have a gun." Video didn't show him.
Did he check to see if he had a firearm owner's permit?
You know this. Okay, so I'm speculating here because I didn't have all the details of this particular incident up outside the article. But if they said they found a gun on him, how did they know it was his gun? I mean, we know cops plant evidence. I don't know if that ever came up. Was it his gun, or did they suddenly find the gun afterwards? I guess I'm going to have to look into that and see how they know for a fact it was his gun. If he didn't pull it out and didn't aim it at them, and the cop says you have a gun after he shot him, how did they know he had a gun?
Wow. Interesting.
Certainly feeds speculation. The backhoe that pulled out the ATM was stolen from a construction site on the far south side to boot. Do you guys remember the movie Die Hard 3?
Yes.
Sam Jackson. Yeah. And so the terrorists in that movie, they stole, in the beginning of the movie, John McClane's like, oh, it must be some kind of an insurance scam where all these construction vehicles were stolen. It's referenced in the beginning of the movie. And you find out later it was Gruber's brother who stole them so that they could take all the gold out of
Fort Knox.
It was the Treasury. Well, on Wall Street.
Yeah. They got all the gold out there, and of course, I found that Die Hard to be the most interesting one because
I loved it. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the first is the classic, but the third one I think is because it's the other ones. Well, the second one copied the formula of the first one in the airport. I don't think it worked. But the third one with Sam Jackson.
My favorite line in the second one is, "Now listen, you're the wrong man at the wrong place at the wrong time." Story of my life.
Yeah, and how can the same thing happen to the same guy twice?
Yeah.
All right, so Art says no, it was an illegal gun, and in the video okay. All right, I don't remember seeing him holding it in the video, but I don't doubt what you saw, Art. So to watch that video closer. It was an illegal backhoe. I hope Chase puts the ATM back. It's all we have. Oh, so this actually affected the community, the loss of that ATM. Speaking of theft, guess what, guys? You know, this is my favorite subject, right? From the Tribune by John Byrne and Tracy Swartz. Chicago speed cameras nabbed drivers around school when kids weren't in class. 6 miles per hour, and they will ticket you every time.
Fuck you.
My pocket here. It's just here's Lightfoot and City. Gone.
No, she's like, give me your money.
Give me your
money now.
We have a deficit to make up now that the government's probably going to slap us with all kinds of repercussions because we use the federal bailout to pay down the city's debt instead of put it towards proper COVID relief. All right, so
brilliant move, Mayor.
Yeah, right. She thought she was going to be a hero paying down our debt instead of helping people. The city of Chicago has framed its school speed camera program as a way to keep kids safe, pushing back against claims it's a cash grab by pointing to a simple rule: drivers don't get tickets on days students aren't in class. One day last fall, that standard broke down. On a Friday in November, when a Southwest Side charter school was closed to give students a chance to get vaccinated against COVID-19, nearly 24 cars nonetheless got hit for speeding in the nearby automated camera, quote, school safety zone.
Because of course they did.
Of course they did. Have you seen the cameras that are like bordering parks that are empty and abandoned? The cameras are like in really wide streets or on overpasses that go over the river. And the park is like, next to the river down. There's no way someone from the park can like walk up the hill or the overpass and cross the overpass bridge to get across the street. But that's where the traffic cameras are because they know that there's a lot of traffic there. I'm thinking of the one specifically over on Peterson near Lincoln. But they're go all over the city for these park cameras or school cameras with schools that are like blocks away from the main road where they've got these speed cameras and traffic cameras set up. 8 of those drivers near Acero's Major Hector P. Garcia MD High School got the tickets November 12th for exceeding a camera-enforced 20-mile-per-hour speed limit intended to apply on school days when children are present. Another 15 were ticketed by one of 2 cameras assigned to the school on West 47th Street in Archer Heights for going over a 30-mile-per-hour limit that's in place when kids aren't nearby. The Tribune received data through an open records request about all speed camera tickets near schools on Vaccine Awareness Day. Do you know the Tribune has literally been following this traffic camera story for the past 10, 15 years? This has been going on. When Chicago public schools and other schools shut down to promote the idea students should get vaccinated. After a reporter informed the Chicago Department of Transportation cars were ticketed passing Major Hector Garcia when the campus was closed, the city said it would cancel outstanding citations and offer refunds to those who already paid. City workers are assigned. Now, remember this. I attended one of these hearings. There's supposed to be 3 sets of eyes that look at these tickets, and those 3 sets of eyes, before they send those tickets that come from the cameras, are supposed to look at the date. They're also supposed to identify the make of your vehicle, which they don't, which, as I've said in the past, violates the state and city ordinances to make sure that license plate on the car is actually registered to the car to make sure that that ticket is valid. That's what one of the cross checks. City workers are assigned to verify speed camera photos before tickets are sent out, according to CDOT spokesman Michael Claffey. They track school schedules and aren't supposed to approve tickets from any of the 79 cameras outside 33 public, private, and charter schools across the city when they're closed. On November 12th, the Acero's decision to shutter Major Hector Garcia slipped by those monitors, Claffey said. Just slip by. This was an unusual circumstance with Acero, he said, noting both city and state laws allow for school speed camera enforcement on school days only. But Mark Wallace, executive director of the local anti-camera group Citizens to Abolish Red Light Cameras, and they've done a lot of fine work over the years challenging the city on this, said the situation at Major Hector Garcia seems all too familiar given the city's past stance on the cameras. Their MO all along has been, we'll issue the tickets, and if nobody says anything, we'll get away with it, Wallace said. It's always been that they're responsive to correcting it when they get found out. They'll defend the program right up until someone hands them the proof. There's a problem. John Cronenberger got a $35 ticket in the mail in January, informing him he'd been caught by a speed camera driving over the 30-mile-per-hour limit near Major Hector Garcia on November 12th. Usually, it's very trafficky there. And I know those cameras are there because they're forever flashing. So, you know what I do every time I see like a flash in front of me, guys? It brings me great joy. When I see a camera flashing in the opposite direction with cars coming to me, I slow down, I roll down my window, I stick my arm out the window like this in the direction of the camera facing me so that anybody that they nail on the other side of the street gets my message.
You know, whenever I see a flash, I'm thinking like, oh shit, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah.
Because like by the studio, there's a speed limit going by Ashland, 20 miles an hour because there's a school there. And it's like, like sometimes I have to take another way around because I just don't. Because for me, it'll be great going down Ashland and all that other stuff, like get to the studio. But sometimes I have to choose an alternate pathway because I don't trust those cameras. I just don't trust them anymore.
I want to see an older person. I want to see, we should demand a referendum that every traffic camera also have a speaker with a sound effect that goes ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
Wait. This speed camera is in the district of Alderman so-and-so.
Right. I'm being attacked. He's not letting go. Oreo. I'm doing a show here. Sorry.
Anyway, tell them about the potholes, Jerry. There's so many of them.
The potholes on Lakeshore Drive. So I think
not just Lakeshore. The whole city is.
Was it? Oh my God! Yeah, it's the worst I've ever seen it.
So what? So Ed, did you send me the story about the tunnel near? I think it was near Irving Park in Kappelman's district. The tunnel going underneath the drive was collapsing.
Oh, I might have.
So, I think you sent that to me. I forgot to include that story because very, very interesting. They had, what was it, $2 or $5 million to rename the drive. Do you know how much infrastructure work that could have, talking about potholes?
Well, it might have been able to fix that underpass.
A few. Yeah. Just a few.
I mean, I
know
we're
talking
about infrastructure, but we are talking speed cameras, and I figured it'd be a nice segue just to mention to any alder person or mayor who might be listening that the roads are insanely terrible right now.
I also want to put this up here too. There was a prankster, not in Chicago, but kept on drawing male genitalia by the potholes.
Yes.
Or trying in there. So, look, graffiti artists, I'm not asking you guys to put yourselves at risk.
You're not encouraging it, but you're suggesting it might be funny if you saw it. Is that what you're saying, Kit?
That would be so funny if all across the city.
Nobody do this.
No one do this.
That Kit is telling you.
No one do this. But let me tell you of something that happened with this thing that I'm telling no one not to do. So I don't want to. I am saying not do this, but let me tell you a story of this prankster who draw wing bones all on the roads where there were potholes at. I don't want anyone to do this, but if there are some entrepreneurial people, because there are some people out there doing pranks, don't do that.
Hashtag Chicago dink potholes.
Chicago dog hole.
But when we so to kind of shift gears back into the serious, I think that there is a connection here when you consider how much revenue is collected from these cameras and how little revenue is being directed towards repairing the infrastructure of our road. Where the fuck is all the money going? It's related to transportation. It's related to our roads. It's related to travel. We have the money to rename the drive and change all the signs, yet people are like losing the bottom of their cars because of the potholes or the speed bumps.
Here's what's really enraging is that when they renamed Lakeshore Drive, all this there's like there was number one priority to do.
There's where all the money's going. Real quick, Kathy, you're right.
Yeah. Lori's mattress, that's where the money went. It's in my mattress. Stay away from it. Please ignore all the green bills that are by it.
be kind of fun to like fill each of those holes with like, I don't know, ground beef or cereal or some other weird thing.
I have a better idea.
Maybe some plants.
How about alder people?
Ah, there we go.
That would be my choice.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Chairs.
Continuing the article. He wasn't surprised to learn that he was ticketed mistakenly. It's Chicago. They're broke. And the camera's realistic. We're not broke. Okay, that's the narrative.
Chicago's not broke.
We're not broke. But that's what people are told. It's Chicago, they're broke, and the cameras realistically are just a way for the city to make money, he said. If the goal is to protect kids from speeding cars before and after school, there's no need on 47th Street, Cronenberger added. If you go there during school and there are pedestrians around there and it's time for school to start or end, it's impossible to do 5 miles an hour there. It's so congested. There's no school parking lot. It's an industrial area and a residential area on the other side of the street, so it's total chaos. Cronenberger had already paid the ticket by the time he found out the city was canceling it, and the city cashed his check, he said. Cronenberger said he would try to get a refund, but on Wednesday he said he had not yet received it. Mayor Lori Lightfoot inherited about 160 automated speed cameras near Chicago schools and its parks from her predecessor, Rahm Fuckface Emanuel. But as part of her 2021 budget, Lightfoot lowered the threshold at which the cameras snap pictures of license plates, and the city issues tickets from 10 miles per hour over the limit to 6. Now, she ran on an agenda of getting rid of the cameras, too. Let's not forget that. She when she was asked, she was like, yeah, she was against the cameras. Now, she ended up lowering the limit, but the number of tickets and the revenue to the city, if drivers paid the fines, skyrocketed in the months after her new rules took effect by lowering the speed limit. Lightfoot has defended the change, saying she enacted to keep pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists safe, as well as stuff her mattress. She and allies.
Well, you know, Jerry, if I keep the speed cameras, it gives us an additional source of revenue, so that I don't have to dip into the TIF funds for my pet project where I put another bean on top of the existing bean in Millennial Park. It'll be a double bean.
2 beans in one.
That's just what we need, is another bean in Millennial Park.
Hashtag double bean.
I like Kathy's comment. Yes, I did mean Ambassador Rahm Fuckface.
Oh, yeah, he's ambassador. God damn it.
She and the allies on city council have so far beaten back an attempt by far South Side Alderman Anthony Beal of the 9th to go back to the old speed camera benchmarks. How about just get rid of them completely, Alderman Beal? Just fucking rally to get rid of them. For Wallace of the Citizens to Abolish Red Light Cameras, the major Hector Garcia tickets highlight why so many Chicago drivers are angry at the city about the ticket system. They'll say, we'll do our best to follow the rules we set, but they want to hold the public to the absolute letter of the law. 6 miles per hour is over, and they'll ticket you every time. But that's the thing. They want us to follow the letter of the law, but they don't. I again, go into the Chicago Corner archive, everybody. There is a state and city municipal law that says you have to identify the make of a vehicle on the ticket, and they don't do it. They identify everybody's vehicle make as other, with 3 sets of eyes looking at those tickets to make sure that license plate on that automated speed camera ticket is registered to the vehicle. Means you have to go to the Secretary of State's records, which they have on the computer, and identify the make. They don't do that. That's a safeguard that's not on any automated camera ticket. And it used to be you could cite that and get out of your ticket, because there used to be administrative law judges who are like, yeah, you're right. This ticket does not follow the letter of the law and identify the make of your vehicle. It was after people discovered that law on the books that suddenly all these administrative law judges, who are lawyers moonlighting to collect money for the city, decided not to accept that defense anymore. And apparently there was also a judge who said, well, the photograph from the camera, they can see what the make of your vehicle is from that photograph. So it's not, so the law about them identifying the make of your vehicle in the actual typewritten description up there doesn't matter. That's how they got around tossing, recognizing that state and city municipal code. So look, man, they want us to follow the letter of the law, while they just, rules for thee, not for me.
These politicians don't give a damn. I remember during one of Rahm Emanuel's elections in 2015, his motorcade ran through a red light and they got caught with a speed camera. Gee, I wonder, did he really pay off that fine At the speed camera.
Well, he paid the fines. Well, Jesus Christ, Rom, if you paid the fines running red lights, then it's not really about safety, is it?
Nope.
If you think you're special and you can run the fucking red lights all over the city while claiming it's about safety and not revenue, why is it okay for you to throw safety out the window when your motorcade is rushing to get you to a fucking basketball game while everybody else gets ticketed?
Yeah.
All right. Quick, some private time. Let's get to our last story. All right. So even a broken clock is right twice a day, right, guys? So here's
wait a minute. Is this? This is Lightfoot going for a UBI program. What?
Yeah, we talked about this before.
I know.
It's a lottery, but it's a lottery UBI program. It's a lottery. Not everybody
really
needs it is going to get it
either.
Yeah. All right. So let's look. Some people are going to benefit from this. Thankfully, not as many as should. But here are the details for our viewers. If you need this kind of relief, I wanted to share what the details are. This comes to us from Kelly Bauer at Blog Club Chicago. Low-income Chicago families to get $500 a month from city as part of a new program. Chicagoans can apply to the Universal Basic Income Program in April. It was one of the 4 anti-poverty initiatives Mayor Lori Lightfoot announced Thursday. Now, she did talk about this at her budget address. I think it was it earlier this year or late last year? I forgot the timing. But I do remember that she brought this up when she was addressing city council.
She was talking about the 2022 budget, and
that's what it was.
Really, it was the idea of some aldermen, and then the idea had been tabled, and then she's like, "Oh wait, I got to bail myself out of some other scandal, so I'll come up with this instead."
That makes sense. Chicagoans can now sign up to get information about a basic income pilot program that will send $500 per month to low-income families. The Chicago Resilient Communities Pilot Program will provide cash assistance to how many families do you think, guys?
Was it 500? I don't remember.
Actually, 5,000.
Oh, it was 5,000.
Which I think is still too low. You think it would be more. Well, they'll provide cash assistance to 5,000 families per month for a year, providing them economic stability after the uncertainty caused by the pandemic. Mayor Lori Lightfoot announced Thursday. Households selected for the program must have been impacted by COVID-19 and will be selected using a lottery system. It's the Hunger Games Chicago version.
Who wasn't impacted by that?
Right? Exactly.
Every damn relief program they're coming up with, whether it's local government or state government or federal government, they're like trying to make you jump through all these stupid hoops. Everybody suffered from that. Just send us some checks.
Yeah. Arturo in the live chat, it's a lottery. No one who deserves it are going to get it. Plus, I think this program would be canceled and not happen at all. Well, they're opening up the application process in April, Art, so I guess it's on track. But again, I don't know that 5,000. Yeah, let's gamble with poverty. Yeah, there are more than 5,000 families. This is a shit program. The program was one of 4 initiatives Lightfoot will roll out this spring to fight poverty in Chicago. Together, the 3 programs are expected to. Do you remember the story we reported on this Tuesday about Hope Chicago coming up with all this money to get high schoolers into public and city colleges? They made an announcement. They awarded more schools. So a private institution, private organization can send kids to public college, but the best the city of Chicago can do is a lottery system for 5,000 families to help them with COVID relief. We are broken beyond repair, broken worse than the potholes on all of our streets. Together, the 3 programs are expected to benefit more than 30,000 Chicagoans, according to a mayor's office news release. Well, not maybe the other programs, but all right. So here's a look at the initiatives. Monthly cash assistance. People who wish to participate in the $31.5 million Chicago Resilient Communities pilot can sign up online to get information. They'll be able to apply for the program in April, and the city will use a lottery system to determine who participates. Residents who are chosen for the program will receive $500 per month for 12 months. There will be no strings attached to the money or limitations on how it can be spent.
We've needed this money forever. And people have been needed money for 2 years going now, and they're going to make you wait till April now, when they've already made you wait 2 years. And to top it off, they're throwing it into a needless and overly restrictive means testing wall. that
Well, yeah,
most
they're
people
saying
won't be
there's
able to get
yeah,
over.
they're claiming that there are no strings attached. However, there are strings attached because to apply for the lottery, residents must live in the city, be 18 years or older, have experienced economic hardship related to the pandemic, and have a household income at or below 250% of the federal poverty level. Anybody know what the current poverty level is?
In the city?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me go ahead.
30,000? I'll continue
No,
while
it's
you look
lower.
at it. It's lower. Okay. You must have a house. So literally you got to be living out of a garbage dumpster to qualify for this $500 a month stipend. Only 5,000 families that it's going to be given out to. The city will work with nonprofits and an advisory group of experts to ensure the program is done in an equitable and effective way, according to the mayor's office. Go ahead, Kit.
At least according to the data right now before me, approximately 22% of Chicagoans fall below the federal poverty level, which is an annual income of $26,200 for a family of four.
Do you know most small businesses were getting a starting SBA loan or grant of $20,000? Those are businesses that are making money. Yet the poverty level for a family is $26,000. Priorities.
I'm looking at poverty guidelines for 2022, which went in effect in January. They raised it to $27,750 for a family of four. For a single person, it's $13,590. That's super low.
Kathy Powers brings up a very good point. No strings attached, but not the homeless, because you need an address to apply for the program. She goes on to say there are more than 5,000 people who are houseless. Yeah, much more than 5,000. And True Democracy Now! Remarks this is not a program for the homeless. Well, of course the homeless are poor. I think that True Democracy Now! was highlighting sarcastically the irony of the situation, Kathy, at least how I'm reading it. All right, so the city will work with nonprofits and an advisory group of experts. Let me take this off. To ensure the program is done in an equitable and effective way, according to the mayor's office. The Inclusive Economy Lab at the University of Chicago will help city officials review the impact of the pilot. Sign up for updates online or click here for more information. You can go to the show description, show notes. You find that article and you click there. The Domestic Worker Relief Fund is another initiative. The city will open applications for its $4.8 million Domestic Worker Relief Fund in April as well. The fund will provide a one-time grant of $500. That's maybe 4 weeks gas money, or at least that's kind of what we're coming up to for the
It might be 2 weeks in this economy.
Yeah, to eligible domestic workers. $500. They act like $500 is like such a lot of money. The city did not immediately share more information about the fund or eligibility requirements. The Chicago Resiliency Fund 2.0. Now, look, there's some good news coming out of this. At least, hopefully, 5,000 families will qualify and get relief. But as I'm going through, this being the feel-good article at the end of the show that some people might benefit, there's still a lot more to do as far as helping the city's citizens. The city will also open applications in April for its $10.7 million Chicago Resiliency Fund 2.0. That fund will provide residents with a one-time grant, guys, of guess how much? What's the magic number in this article?
$500.
$500.
Oh, wow.
One-time grant of $500. The fund is meant to help residents who were excluded from prior federal stimulus relief programs. Now, remember how much? What did Lightfoot do with the majority of the COVID funds last year? Gave it to the police department.
Gave it to the police.
And paid down the city's debt. And we got $500 left over, though, to help our citizens.
Yeah, and paying down the debt, as far as I know, people are calling for investigation in that because I don't think she's supposed to have done that.
Well, no, that was illegal. She should not have done that at all. This is why we got to vote Mayor Lightfoot out. But then again, who's going to replace her at this point?
Well, I read on social media, Kit, that for anybody who's wondering if she's going to run again, they're hiring more people to her reelection campaign. So there's no question. Her hubris, her arrogance, and her pride are going to force her to run again. She's not letting go. She's not letting go of the reins of power. It's just who's going to step forward to challenge her and expose what a fucking fraud she is.
Well, of course I have to run again, Jerry, because I still am working on that pet project where I need to have that double bean in Millennial Park. # Chicago double bean. And, I don't think there's really any big competition right now. I mean, that that one guy with the chocolate milk wart, I don't know what the hell his deal is, but I don't see him really having any kind of a chance against me. And
you know what? I'd rather vote for Peg Leg any day, any time, than goddamn Lightfoot. Okay, I mean, here's somebody who ran on reform, and let's face it, our city's first black woman
of
lesbian
color,
mayor.
lesbian,
Yeah.
representing underrepresented groups, which I thought was great. I mean, I didn't vote for her on the identity, but I thought, there's a little bonus in this that hopefully those marginalized groups that never have a voice might be better represented. Nah, she uses her identity to empower only herself. Let me also add really quickly, there was a good comment here in the live chat from Art. I know the program is meant to help, but when it doesn't help everyone and only a few, then it becomes a game of luck, and it's never good. Hence the Chicago Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the smallest crumb.
You'd get better odds buying a lottery ticket. Yeah, actually, I'll tell you the truth. I played one of those lottery scratch-off tickets. Occasionally, on a few occasions, I actually got like a $1 back for one of those tickets here and there. This is like sporadic throughout my years. The biggest money I ever won on one of those things was $50, so that was like a big day for me.
So regarding that one-time $500 jackpot grant that they're going to be giving out, the city did not immediately share more information about the fund or eligibility requirements. They're rolling out these initiatives, but they still haven't gotten their shit together aside from the applications that are opening in April for the 5,000 families in the lottery system to hopefully get that $500 a month. Fines and fees. The city will also try to combat regressive fines and fees for low-income households through the Clear Path Relief Pilot, which will open April 1st. That's not really giving out money. That's just like taking less money from people. The program will help low-income drivers eliminate debt by paying off the original amount they'd been fined on tickets given to them in the past 3 years. How about you get rid of the fucking cameras so nobody has the tickets or the debt, you assholes? God, this pisses me off. Such drivers who get a new ticket would have to pay 50% of the fine and would not incur fees or penalties on the tickets until after December 31st. People with expired city stickers or expired license plate violations will also be able to fix the problem by buying the required sticker instead of paying a ticket, according to the city. People will have one opportunity to fix to quote unquote fix, because it's a fixer city. Each violation per license plate, and the fix must be done within 30 days of the violation, according to the city. All right, look. A lot of bullshit in this article that we unpacked, but at least there's one initiative there that if you qualify, go to the show notes below, click on the link to this article. You can get through to the application online. If you need the relief, apply for the lottery and see if you get some help. I mean, at least some people will be helped. And we can't look. For what little they're doing, there's so much more to be done, but we can't dismiss that there's an opportunity for some people to get some relief. So while we're being very snarky here, if you qualify, take advantage of it.
Yeah. If you got access to the city's website and you can find the link, we probably should post that. Is it in the story?
Yeah. So Kathy Powers remarks, how about that heroin tossing niece? That almost made this week's stories, Kathy, but unfortunately I had all this other stuff with the invasion of Ukraine that I wanted to go into. Although
we actually talked about it on Tuesday's show.
Yeah, but there was a follow-up though. Lori Lightfoot came out and said that there's no indication that there's any link with the officer, that there may have been some questions related to why a relationship between the guy who threw the heroin out of the car, the niece, and the aunt who owned the car, who's in internal affairs. All right, so okay. One thing to share from Kathy here. There we go. It's Burger King.
The Burger King. That's funny.
Burger King. Yeah, Burger King. That's right. Yeah, because we talked about Ed Burke and a corruption story amongst, I think, the 5 aldermen that are being investigated after Patrick Daley Thompson went down. So, all right, that brings us to yes.
I put up the link for the cash pilot for the Chicago Resilient Communities pilot. So if anybody wants to sign up to get more information for that, they can do that in the link in the chat.
Yeah, Art, I'd like to have you come on someday and tell us about your firsthand witness experience I think it would. I think it would be great to have you like share that. I mean, you just shared it here. I've always alluded to the fact you worked for Burke. If you're not shy about sharing you were there when they raided the office, if you want to come on and talk about that sometime, please, you are welcome. It would be very nice to be a fly on the wall and hear what went down. All right, everybody. So we've got the Hardlands Media Open House tomorrow night, Saturday. Kit, you want to share? I know that there were RSVPs. I don't know if there's any room left. I'm going to be there.
I am confident to say that there might not be any room left at all.
Okay.
However, we are really excited about this. We got food, we got beverages, we're gonna have some pizza there. We're doing a whole Costco smorgasbord happening, though. Trust in Costco, after all. We're gonna have beer, we're gonna have wine, we've got great food set up, we're gonna have music. Excuse me. Really excited for this. Can't wait for it to happen.
I'm glad you're patronizing Costco because they take care of their employees with a living wage.
Yeah, no, yeah. So there's only one way to party, and that's through Costco. Okay, so there you go. We're not sponsored by Costco, though. Costco doesn't sponsor people.
Do you know how many guests are going to be expected?
It's around 40 plus.
Cool.
Bigger than last time. I
will be there. My nephew Nico has a birthday party during the day, but after I've wrapped up with the family, I will be on my way down to the studio. And I haven't seen you guys in person for a while, so this is going to be a good time.
Yeah, it'll be a great time. We're going to have a lot of good stuff happening. 5th floor at the 99 Perspective Studio. Can't wait to make it happen.
So I want to share really quickly in the chat. Art shared he never met the man Burke, but he worked for him. And Kathy remarked, "We all work for the man Arturo." We all work for the Burger King and the rest of the royal clowns in city council who are above the law.
That guy shake down a Burger King. How is it? Like, seriously, a multinational corporation. You just thought, hey, it'd be a shame if something happened to that Burger King.
Look, man, real shame, man. You know.
And so we are not sponsored by Burger King either, but we are sponsored by. Flavor improving mugs.
There you go.
Mugs that improve flavor.
There you go.
There you go. Our companies that give their workers a living wage should be praised. Yeah, this is Ed Burke. I need to talk to the king. I need to talk to the king about some money. You guys gotta pay our office to help you with that permit, that application you put through.
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Ed, are you going to be there tomorrow night?
I have a previous engagement out in the burbs for
what's going on?
What's more important? Formation anniversary event.
What's more important than us? Where are you going?
It is a Spirit Journey Formation anniversary event.
Okay.
It'd be the 50th one that I have.
Wait, is it your birthday tomorrow?
Also Johnny Cash's birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, bro!
You gonna be with your family?
Much. I will be with family, and I don't know how long I'm going to be out there, but if I am able to get back in time, I will try to drop into the studio.
I hope you can, so we can all raise a glass, a toast to your 50th birthday.
Yes, I hope I survive.
I'm sure you will. Yeah, like me, you're not that easy to kill. Or Kit, we're not that easy to kill. And the birthday greetings are coming into the chat.
There you go. Happy early birthday. So there you go.
All right, listen, everybody. I look forward to seeing both you gentlemen tomorrow night. Thank you for joining me this evening for our Friday night edition of Chicago Corner. And to our viewing audience, please remember as we go into the weekend, stay safe, be vigilant, watch out for each other. And if it's happening on the streets, you'll hear about it. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're jumping back.
Jerry, real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off with your classic thing, but look, I know there's a lot of depressing things about Chicago, but here's the thing. There are good people in this city. And
Gotham isn't beyond saving. Give me more time. There are good people here.
Hey, Jerry, you excited for that new Batman movie that's coming out?
Nope. No. Oh, God, we can go another hour on this topic. Yeah, no. Pattinson, he has no charisma to play Bruce Wayne. I'm not digging the costume design with the Dracula collar. It looks like a beautifully produced movie, but I'm so fucking tired of having the rug pulled out from under me from Warner Brothers. All right, so the Nolan trilogy was self-contained, right? Great Batman. Christian Bale was fantastic. Loved him. Then they gave it to Zack Snyder, who did Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman. Thankfully, his version of Justice League, he set up this great arc, got us all excited about, like, the character arc with Ben Affleck's Batman. Ben Affleck's got the most impressive, intimidating presence as Bruce Wayne and Batman, but nope, the executives at the studio don't want Zack Snyder's what Zack Snyder teased us with to go forward, although he would have been very happy to deliver. Now we got to wait and see another iteration of Batman. And I'm sorry, I think we were spoiled from Christian Bale through Ben Affleck as being really great Batman. I have nothing against Robert Pattinson. He's a great actor. He's no Bruce Wayne. Actually, God damn, there was a great picture I had found. Give me a second here. Let me see if I can find this really, really quickly. That demonstrates exactly right up on the screen here. I got to go to my Twitter, though. Here's my Twitter.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's see if I can go. And thank you for asking, though. I have wanted to get this off my chest.
No, it's all good.
Because we're barraged right now with all of the scripts for the Batman. And I think that people are excited for it because it's like, this is what they're going to give you. They're not going to follow through on what they had teased before.
There's Oreo right there. Like, hey, what's going on?
Oreo's waiting too. I got a funny meme here, guys, that'll pretty much put it all together. Oh, come on. For anybody that's interested in hanging out here and listening to this. Hang on. Sorry, guys. How about you, Kit, though? Are you looking forward to it? What are your thoughts?
No, I'm here's the thing. I'm kind of getting tired of superhero movies. Like, they should have ended Avengers Endgame. Like, that's it. Like, the Marvel movies, like, should have just stopped it right there. Look, the Spider-Man movie was great. These other ones are like pale imitations, and I understand for some, like, it means a lot, but they should have just wrapped it up in a package. You did it. You delivered a great story. Time to let it rest. Don't bombard us with superhero movie. Like, after a while, like, I'm tired of seeing origin stories. And the thing is, like, the Dark Knight trilogy was a great way to tell the story of what it means to be Batman. And I like the original 1989 film that came out because I thought it was originally because when I first saw it, I thought, oh, this is the origin. No, Batman was already Batman. I'm tired of him.
I think, I've got Disney Plus, and I think that Disney Plus has been a great platform to continue some of these Marvel stories outside of cinema. Because, I think after Avengers Endgame, how do you top that? I mean,
I don't know. How do you top that? Even if you're going to do another big showdown, how are you going to do it with the originals like Captain America, Iron Man, Thor? And that's not like disparaging or putting down the other characters, but it's like those are the big three.
This shows.
I think the plan was that they're going to try to have all the mutants versus the Eternals when they finally reboot the X-Men. Look, I'm holding out hope. I like the comic book movies. I don't mind if they keep making them, but like you, I'm kind of underwhelmed about the upcoming Batman movie.
I love comic book movies, and I think Marvel did it right. They had a plan, they had a blueprint. They knew where they were going when they started. Not DC, Warner Brothers doesn't. And this meme, I think, kind of pretty much demonstrates what I mean. When your younger brother keeps nagging you to wear the suit, and you let him wear it. The Bruce Wayne on the right, the Bruce Wayne on the left, does not even compare to the Bruce Wayne on the right.
Oh, what the heck?
That Pattinson suit, it's like the wind looks like it'll blow him over.
What
as opposed to what we got with Affleck. That's the Pattinson suit.
What?
That's the Robert Pattinson bat suit next to Ben Affleck's suit. Come on.
Oh, my God.
I guess when you've achieved perfection with the Batfleck suit, where else is there to go but down? But yeah, this is one of the many reasons I'm not
think there's different time frames involved here too. Pattinson
like you're
is
Batman?
Batman year 2.
What's that, kid? What are you laughing at?
Now I'm thinking the Batman suit was like even the Joker would be like, you are not Batman. I know the Batman. Then why do you dress up like him?
Yeah,
because he's a symbol. Because he's a
kind of
symbol.
look similar to the one of the guy who cosplayed as Batman in the.
Yeah. What
He does. This looks like hockey pad Batman. This is remember when Christian Bale. What's wrong with us being out here trying to protect the streets like you? I'm not wearing hockey pads.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Pattinson's got the hockey pad suit. That's what Pattinson's
wearing.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's my I'm going to wait for it to go to HBO Max. I'm not even going to, out of curiosity, I'm not going to the theater to see it. So there you have it. Anyway, guys, thanks for asking though, Kit.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think I'll be able to finally go see Spider-Man in a theater now that they lifted all those weird rules, or they're going to be doing that on Monday. But we'll see what they do.
That one's worth seeing in a theater, Ed. If it's still in, I think it's coming out in 2 weeks on video and streaming. So try to see it in a theater. No Way Home. Are you a fan of the older? Do you know any? It hasn't been spoiled for you, has it?
No, but I'm aware that there's a whole lot of crossover stuff with the.
It's a great film.
Brilliant.
It's good. It's good. Stop reading the internet. Don't. Yeah. I mean, like you're gonna. If you
I
see
already
anything,
saw the meme with the three Spider-Men pointing at each other. But other than that.
But here's the brilliance of it. Again, Marvel had a plan. They knew that there was such a love for the Raimi movies and even Andrew Garfield's movie, which I don't think they were really well written, but I thought
really liked his character in the movie.
Yes, he's a great Peter Parker.
And there's a scene in there that really tops it off, but I can't talk about because Edwin.
We don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
but for all the shit that Andrew Garfield got for his 2 outings as Spider-Man because the writing wasn't that good and the stories weren't that great, although I thought he and Emma Watson had a nice chemistry. I really love what Kevin Feige decided to do, using the concept of the multiverse to integrate what came before with Marvel's current continuity. It's brilliant. It's satisfying. And I think it will really tug on your heartstrings emotionally. It's very, very well done.
Good redeeming arcs in there that I'm kind of excited to see how they do them.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, guys. Let's close out the show. Remember, everybody, going into the weekend, be safe. Watch out for each other. Be vigilant. And remember, if it's happening on the streets, you'll hear about it here on Chicago Corner. Please stay safe, Chicago, and we will see you next Tuesday. Take care, everybody.